to legends arisen, where history breathes and greatness echoes through time. Do you know the name that shook empires without ever lifting a sword? Cleopatra, the queen, the seductress, the strategist. She wasn't just beautiful, she was brilliant. In a world ruled by men, she made kings bend the knee. But how did she rise? And what caused her dramatic fall? This is the untold story of Egypt's last pharaoh, a tale of power, passion, and ultimate betrayal. Cleopatra VII enters a world draped in silk and shadow. Born to the Ptolemaic dynasty, Greeks ruling Egyptian soil, her bloodline is royal, but her future is far from secure. The throne is a prize fought over with poison, politics, and power plays. But Cleopatra is different. While others bathe in luxury, she drinks in knowledge. She learns to speak 9 languages, including Egyptian, becoming the first of her line to embrace the people's tongue. She studies the stars, law, philosophy, and rhetoric. Her mind sharpens like a blade, forged in the fires of an unstable court. She watches, listens, remembers, and in silence, she prepares, not just to survive, but to rule. At just 18, she's forced into co-rule with her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII. But their shared crown is a battlefield. The royal court brims with tension, whispers, and plots. Advisors surround the boy king, pushing Cleopatra into the shadows. Soon her name is erased from official documents, her face vanishes from coins, and then she is exiled, a queen without a kingdom. But Cleopatra does not beg for mercy. She plans her return, not with soldiers, but with strategy. In the silence of the desert, she prepares a move that will change the fate of empires. Cleopatra sees her moment. With Ptolemy's forces tightening their grip on Alexandria, she devises a daring plan. Wrapped in a carpet, yes, literally, she's smuggled past enemy lines and unfurled before Caesar himself. What greets the Roman general is not a damsel in distress, but a ruler with fire in her eyes and empires in her words. She speaks of loyalty, survival, and the stability of Egypt, and Caesar listens. Days later, war erupts in the palace. The Alexandrian civil war ends with Ptolemy dead, drowned in the Nile he sought to control. Cleopatra reclaims her throne, this time as a queen aligned with the might of Rome. Their alliance shakes the ancient world. Rome whispers about the Eastern queen who dines with gods and sails a golden barge. But Cleopatra knows perception is power. She visits Rome not just as a lover, but as a monarch, draped in jewels, crowned with purpose. She walks among senators who both admire and fear her. Together, she and Caesar have a son, Caesarion, a living bridge between two worlds. But destiny doesn't play favorites. In 44 BCE, Caesar is assassinated. Rome descends into chaos. And Cleopatra? She vanishes, not in fear, but in calculation. The game isn't over. It's just begun. Strong, impulsive, charismatic, a warrior who commands loyalty, not just armies. When he summons Cleopatra to Tarsus, expecting tribute, she answers with spectacle. She sails up the river on a barge of gold, dressed as Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Perfumes fill the air. Musicians play. The people stop and stare. Antony is captivated, but Cleopatra doesn't seduce with beauty alone. She speaks in 6 languages, debates politics, speaks of alliances, of trade, of empires. The warrior sees not a mistress, but a monarch. They become partners, in love, in war, in ambition, and the world begins to tremble. As Cleopatra and Mark Antony grow stronger, so does the shadow of Octavian, Caesar's adopted son and rising star of Rome. The alliance between East and West begins to fracture. Rome accuses Cleopatra of witchcraft, of corrupting Antony, of threatening their republic. But in Egypt, Cleopatra is a goddess, ruling from Alexandria with splendor and strategy. With Antony, she divides the eastern territories, crowns their children with royal titles, and prepares for the ultimate confrontation. Octavian declares war, not on Antony, but on Cleopatra. It's not just politics anymore. It's civilization versus civilization. Rome versus Egypt. Order versus passion. And the world braces for the battle that will change everything. The year is 31 BCE. The Battle of Actium erupts, a clash of titans on sea and sky. Cleopatra commands her own fleet beside Antony, but Octavian's navy is ruthless, disciplined, and driven by destiny. Smoke chokes the air. Fire spreads across the sails. Ships sink. Loyalties waver. Cleopatra makes a fateful decision. She retreats, her fleet sailing back to Egypt. Antony follows. The war is lost. Back in Alexandria, defeat hangs like a storm cloud. Their allies desert them. Octavian marches closer. Antony, broken and betrayed, falls on his sword. Dying in Cleopatra's arms, he whispers, "Not even the gods could part us." Cleopatra, now truly alone, prepares for her final act, one not of surrender, but of legacy. Cleopatra retreats to her mausoleum, not to mourn, but to stage her immortality. She dresses in royal robes, wears her crown, and surrounds herself with the symbols of her reign: scrolls, jewels, the scent of lotus. Refusing to be paraded through Rome as a trophy, she embraces death with calculated grace. Legend says it was an asp, the serpent of royalty, that delivered the kiss of eternity. With her, the pharaohs die. So too does the Ptolemaic dynasty, but Cleopatra does not fade. Her story is inked across centuries, a tale of brilliance, seduction, defiance, and strategy. She was not just a queen, she was a force, a symbol of power in a world that feared female rule. And in that final act, she wrote her own myth. History remembers kings for conquest, but Cleopatra? She is remembered for commanding hearts, outwitting emperors, and defying the impossible. Her throne is gone, but her power? Eternal.